So we have from second group. We have assignment from my lecturer. His name is Pedagogies. We would like to interview about flexible learning, focus on the first pillar, that is transform teaching and learning. So I have some questions, sir. The first question is, what is the course that you teach in this major?
The question must be what course do you teach?
I mean subject matter that you teach.
What course do you teach at this major?
What course that you teach in this major?
What course do you teach at this major?
What course do you teach in this major?
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So as you know, I came into your class, I'm teaching statistics.
Yes.
For research method in education. That's the course I have held. I have already held for about more than 5 years. So I'm not an expert in this subject matter, but I know how to teach and I know what the student need actually. Okay, so that's why I'm teaching this. I'm responsible for the student understanding in data analysis, especially in quantitative data analysis. So that's why I'm teaching this.
Next question. Okay, sir. How long did you talk in this major? In this
I've told you.
education?
I've told you, but since 5 years ago, I'm teaching the subject.
One subject.
Yes.
Okay, so
Only statistics.
okay, so what the method that you use when you teaching?
Every teaching, of course, the methodology. The method of teaching is very important actually. So especially in teaching statistics in education, I'm using discussion, discussion method, and also I'm using kind of environmental, we call it drama. Because you know, statistical analysis needs the analysis of mathematical computation. So mathematical computation needs a very careful learning, in which the student must also be helped by using computer, especially in analyzing the data using a statistical package for social sciences, short for SPSS. SPSS. So every student needs to bring computer in the classroom.
Yeah.
So when we learn to analyze the data in the statistical analysis, so the classroom is exactly like computer lab. Every student holds one computer. So you must remember this. My class, especially for analyzing the data, statistical data, when I ask you to bring computer, don't bring it. If you don't bring it, I'll ask you to go home. Don't need to attend the class. Because of what? Because you know, computer itself is very important. That's the tool or the media that you need to use, especially in my class, statistical package or social sciences. What else?
Next question.
Yes. Is there any difficulties when you apply that method, sir?
No difficulties, but the students sometimes got difficulties because you know the concept how to use it, little bit difficult for them to understand. It depends on the references they use. I use, for example, the book written by Julie Palin. The book is about how to analyze the data using SPSS. So everything is already explained in that book. When the student, for example, read the book, know exactly how to apply or operate, for example, the step, how to analyze them. If you don't read the book, of course, you lost the chance to analyze them. So this method is a little bit challenging because you know it depends on the student creativity. When they read more, of course they got more knowledge. Of course. It depends on the student. So the discussion or group discussion or focus group discussion itself needs the help of a computer research to analyze the data.
Okay.
What else?
What about the other subject that either you teach in the class?
Actually, I have also another class, especially in just the 6. That's Mr. Sig and teaching. Data analysis and measurement. So it's also involving the statistical analysis. So data analysis, it means you analyze the data from quantitative or it could be also qualitative data. And you analyze, number one, quantitative using, of course, SPSS. And you involve to analyze the qualitative data. Of course, you have to understand how to explain qualitative data itself.
Well, sir, that you still use that method until now, or you haven't moved
Yeah,
to
every
another?
time I'm teaching, I also using this kind of method.
Okay, so
Okay.
is that the method that you use relate to the flexible learning for the students?
Yes, the flexible learning actually needs a special method as well because the teaching and learning process must involve more on the students' creativity. So it's mean the teaching must involve kind of student-centered activities. Then it could be also I apply student-centered activities because I ask them to analyze using SPSS method,
Okay.
and then the SPSS itself is already been in their computer. So I give the question and then they analyze by themselves.
Okay. Well. Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for answering our question.
That's